you can actually pick whatever you want. Let me share you the COSA framework website. So we will use this as our demonstration to build cross-platform applications and develop. I mean, not really develop, just a demonstration that we can build and develop um, cross-platform applications on Okteto Cloud. So if you don't know about Okteto Cloud, it provides a very good free tier, pro tier, and you can also search other tires as well. These three guys are main developers of Okteto, and I'm using it. I'm using Okteto now. I'm actually transferring my other developed things on Okteto as well. So yes, it's a very great platform, and we are going to use cloud. Please wait a minute. Let me I was screen mirror. Quick. Perfect. So now I can see as well what I'm showing. Um, okay. Uh, so no I could not. Okay. So let's start with our very basic container to build our cross-platform applications. Okay, so here is a very plain Docker file that we have to build the image for. Okay, so I am not seeing. There you go. This is a very plain Docker file. Let me share you the link of the Docker file. So the Docker file is made on Node 10, and we are installing the Quasar CLI, as you can see here, as a global dependency. So let's after building this local Docker file, I am using Okteto development platform to start my image as a developer and develop over it. Okay, so let's do it. As you can see, I have built the image here, right here. Okay, so let's start our development environment. Okay, first of all, don't get confused with Helm Genie mode. It's just the namespace name. It has nothing to do with Helm charts. Okay, so here we started our development environment. Let me delete this old. project, and let's start with a new one. Okay, Quasar is just a framework, like it's built on top of Vue.js, and if you want to use some plain JavaScript, HTML, CSS, then you can use Cordova to support cross-platform development as well. So we will use Cordova with it, but we are using Quasar Wrapper. Okay, so let's build our new app. So with Okteto syncing capabilities, we will be able to develop the thing locally. So Quasar provides you that Quasar CLI provides you to pre-install if any library you want to use in your development, like Wix or Axios, UI, IE18, and or all browser support, or some TypeScript. But let's start the plain thing. So it's installing the dependencies, can take a while. There you go. The syncing already started. Okay. Okay, perfect. So, like other frameworks, Quasar also provide you a dev server. So let's change the directory to Quasar, and okay. So you might notice that the compilation is that we started, but to use our app, to see the changes of our app, we need to forward our ports right here, which we forgot. There. Now everything will be good to go. So let this build, and let's see if we don't forward ports, then of course we are not able to see anything because we haven't forwarded anything. So it will not load nothing. Let's just not waste the time. Okay. So let's restart our development environment. Now this will forward our local request to 8080 to the server's serving of 8080. Okay, perfect. So let's restart our dev server. Okay, so it started. So let's test it. Or I'm actually using multiple screens, so this is my first time, so it is creating some confusion. Sorry for that, but I will try to keep it as clean as possible. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. You can ask it in the process. I will be looking for chat, and if I get the time, I will answer you. You can ask questions without hesitation. Okay, so our development environment has been started. So let's see if our change is effective. So here was we can see the Quasar logo, an image. So sorry, let's the layout is the layout used to serve the apps right here. You can see dot review. We are okay. Let's just not complicate things with the explanation of the framework working, because it will just complicate the things in this whole smooth process. So we just made a Docker file with the Quasar CLI. We are building it on the required platform. Could be Linux or Debian or anything else. So we built Okteto YAML with some STIGNO based on the JavaScript like Node.js, etc. So we don't need to have node modules syncing. So this will save over time. So over forward port and the image we would like to use, etc. So these three files are essential to start with cross-platform development, except for Android and Windows, which I will explain later. Okay, so we are going to add some changes. So first, change the title. Here, Quasar app is written, serving on localhost on my machine, not on data server. Quasar app, data cloud. Let's just make things more sensible. Okay, Quasar app on a data cloud. There we go. Instant changes. The syncing process works very well. Okay, so now that we have a working Quasar app that we can use. So according to CLI, let's look like a complete beginner and see after creating folder, we need a build command, build commands. For PWA, I am exploring the docs in front of you because this will, this will be easy for you to search for new things on Quasar in future if you are going to use this framework. So this will build a progressive web app, but let's just build a spa for now. Let's start with a small thing, a website, plain website. Okay, so if you don't know, let's see build commands. Okay, oh sorry, build commands. My second screen is covering this screen. Simple Quasar dev and Quasar build. Okay, so let's just stop this server and Quasar build. We just tested Quasar dev and now this test Quasar build. As you can see, there exists no dist folder, right? Um, okay, so let's build. This will build our spa with plain HTML, JavaScript files. Will take some time. Okay, let me share you the Docker file with now. Like this. And sorry, sorry. There we go. And, please check out the messages if you like to see link of the Docker file. Okay, so we build it, and there we have our disk folder and our spa single page application, right, with plain index. If we like to see if will it work or not, let's just open it. Okay, spa and start index.html, and there we have it, index.html serving from our spa, and it builds nicely. So let's build a progressive web app. Yeah, let's go a little more further. Okay, if you don't know what a progressive web app is, a plain Google explanation for you. A progressive web application is a type of application software delivered through the web built using common web technologies, including HTML, CSS, JavaScript, which we are already using. And it is intended to work on any platform that you. Okay, so this explanation will explain you not much. So let's build it and see how it works. And for mode, okay, mode PWA. We have to define this if we want to use PWA support. So if there exists no pre-installed support for PWA, if required by Quasar framework, then it will install it automatically. So let's build over PWA app, which is not a native app. As I'm saying it again, we will explain this process for native apps after this, simple plain web applications, Linux-based applications, etc. We'll explain it later. Okay. As you see, syncing process will work. Okay, so if you have any questions, please leave in the message below. Till then, let it build the thing. So their server is no longer running. We can however close this tab. Not required. Okay, so I will explain you all this later. Actually, not this and this and this, just this for this session. So let's. Oh yes, it built it. So let's see what. Okay, we got the PWA app. So if we want to see it, let's see it. Okay, so we have to serve it from a live server to make it work. Okay, I can use some HTTP serve or live server module, but let's just use a click if it shows. Load it to the not open the live server. Where's the live server? I'm not seeing it. Okay, so let me explain you until it opens. Okay, okay, it opened. So I explain it later. Okay, so load perfectly. Here you go. There you can see a button install. Okay, this only appears if you use PWA, lines. There are some build lines that require to define PWA, a standard SPA to a PWA. They required some, some piece of code to understand, so browser can understand that it is a PWA, and allow some special access like adding a home screen button, etc., to any device. According to PWA, it works almost on any browser like Safari, uh, Chrome, Mozilla, or whatever operating system you use, and whatever render engine that operating system use. Okay, for hybrid apps. Okay, there we go. It works nicely, just like a native application. As you can, okay, sorry, as you can see, after installing, I get this. Doesn't it look like Electron build? Of course it does. Okay, uh, but not very much. Because it is still a PWA, limited in the functionality, but as PWA is growing, it will also add some more functionality by the time. Okay, so we can see all around apps and extensions, but okay, so let's move forward. So let's add a bit of change before we move forward. Uh, there we go. Let me close that other window. Perfect. Okay, so let's add a bit of change. There are pages. Instead of that, let's use Okteto logo. So just see the process, what I'm doing, and you will be able to do it as well. Of course, it's very easy. Let me, okay, here is our folder, new app we are using. Let's see if we are still on the, yes, we are. And source, Quasar recommends to add your files in the statics folder. So let me see assets. Interesting. See that before. Okay, so I guess there is some problem with st ignore. No, it looks fine. Okay, so let's use the URL for now. We will fix it later. That's not the right one. Let's use this one. So let's see if we have our changes. After that, we are going to build native applications. So that will be quite a fun, but require some patience. Here we go. No, as expected, but we can, however, use. Okay, let's not do too much of it. And here we have our Quasar application code that we can build with PWA and Spark. Let's start with our next method, that is to build with Android build tools. So we don't require to install Android build tools locally. Let me explain you what we are going to do. Just see much and okay. Okay, so here's our Docker file that I have created from Bitrise repository. Actually, it is a third Docker file, like created from Bitrise repository, and then Bitrise created all these installations of SDK. And uh, what I did was I installed here Quasar CLI, Cordova Simulate to better test all the things. And I also installed Wine, that you will see right here. I did this because if you want to build your application for Windows on Linux platform, you will be able to do it. So let's start. I have built this image, named it this, and let's start our development environment. Okay, so we have our Quasar created project. So we can, however, start with a new one. So let's do it. Start with a new one. We just need these three files to support application to support development for SPA, PWA, Linux, Android, and Windows. So it's just hanging. Please wait. Unexpected. Sorry for that. Didn't expected it. Okay. I guess we have to terminate this process. Just close it. Okay. So let's redo it. We have it right there. Okay. So it hasn't been deleted yet. Oh, it will take some time. So let's keep it. So here we are start with our thing. So CD, QF, and then NPMI. Actually, let's use YARN. It's more preferred. It will install all the dependencies in the current Quasar app. Okay, it is already installed. I install it for you to save some time. Okay, so let's start with build process. Let's assume that we never had dist. Also assume we never have Android. Okay, so let's do WhatsApp build mode. So what we want to build first is Android app and APK on cloud. Actually, this is not a very big thing. It can be done very easily, as you can see in the Docker file already created by many good contributors out there. So for Cordova platform, we want to use the Android. So Quasar CLI will auto detect if it has installed the Cordova framework to build Cordova based applications, and then it will check if it has installed Android to build for Cordova. Okay, perfect. So let's do it. After checking if there isn't anything, like if there is missing something, then uh, it will install it. The change we did there on that Okteto, oh sorry, the change we did there on that first zeroth method, like plain Quasar, um, you to build a spa and PWA. It doesn't have any connection with this. Okay, so the image we added there, React plus Okteto, was just for fun. Just to let you know that how easily you can develop on cloud with Quasar framework as well. So okay, it is compiling for Android. As you can see, Android target is Android 28 API level. So let's just wait. If you have any questions, please shoot it out in the messages section. I'm reading. Okay, there we go. We have some fail there. Okay, so I actually tried with some ML right there to show to give you a demonstration, but sorry for that. I'm able to find the time to make it work. So it is actually causing this error because we have some boot file here, which could be, sorry, source boot. There we go. We don't need that. Let's just remove it and then remove from here as well. Now trailing commas and then rebuild it. Okay, so also see if anything else will cause this error. Just, let's just comment this out. Every okay, so it is building. Perfect. We have our APT build. APK build. It will be there. It will save it sooner in this platform for inside the build release. I just shared the setting Docker file with you. Just build the image using build kit. You don't need Docker installed. Then I guess it's build kite. Okay, whatever. Okay, so then it is actually a very good tool. Okay, so then use this image as your development environment. Use Quasar to create your app, build your app, and you have a working cross-platform app. Development environment. Okay. Uh, there are some errors coming. It's supposed to say. Okay, perfect. We have our app, but okay. Don't spoil this thing. Let's just open this up. Okay, is it storing in dist? What? APK. Okay, okay. So has changed a bit. Okay, so we have our unsigned APK. It won't install in our devices because it is unsigned. We have to sign it first. But let's see what we just built. Let's build our development environment. It will serve right here. Actually, what I did was just created a video element, initialized with some JavaScript, and let's see if it works. You will be able to see my face. Uh, okay, let's come. Okay, perfect. We are done. Let's start. Um, okay, so something occurred. What? What was that? Okay, so something happened. I didn't know. Maybe some synchronization service killed the thing. Okay, so okay, let's just redo it. What? What is happening? Okay. Okay, so terminal problem there. We have to restart our server. It happens sometimes. It is very exceptional case that these things happen because I have a lot of plugins etc. installed. Perfect. So now it's look to be working. So let's redo it. What we are doing here is actually seeing that what we just build into an APK. Then what we do is after this, then we build one for Windows, one for Linux, and all on Linux, all on this container actually. Yes, we also sign this application and make and send it to uh, mobile device to test it out. Okay, so it is serving now. Let's see if it works. And perfect. Okay, so now you will able to see me. Hello everyone. Perfect. So let's close it out. So now we know what we are going to get in this APK format. I am actually adding a lot of details in this tutorial because I haven't organized this event, in a very systematic manner. But let's, okay, we have low time, so no talk, do more. Okay, so no, we don't sign it right now. Let's build the exe version with Electron layers delivered by Quasar framework. Quasar is just too good to be true, kind of thing. Quasar build mode Electron. Okay, before I proceed, I would like to point out that okay, I will point it out later. Let's just build the default thing, the default way. Uh, what we get from this container, the operating system of this container. Okay, let me see if my change works here. What I did, just I will explain later. After doing that, you will see that okay, I am changing it here. It doesn't matter because the build process has been started. The course are already read the file. Okay, I'm sorry, Singan. Can take 10 more minutes if it's okay with you.
uh, we can do this. You can figure out what is the problem, or you can ready like build in the end of this session. After Vinay's session, I will give you again
Sign one will be using sign one, not unsigned. Okay, we have, as you can see, I shared it on my Slack. So let's try it on mobile. But then I'll try to show you the results. Installing, and okay, install anyway. Security checks and all that. Camera. Let me open the camera. Okay, perfectly installed. So let me share you here. Installed, and let me open this up. Mm, okay. Okay. So the video component is not working, but everything seems to work correctly. We'll sort that issue out. There could be some Quasar plugin to do that, but the APK works built perfectly. Okay, so let's okay. So now it's Windows turn. Let's do the Windows build. Before doing the Windows build, I just want like to show that I built one and it was syncing and then the process stopped. So for now, let me delete the whole disk folder. As you can see, it is not required anymore. We can redo, we can rebuild it. Okay, so Quasar, I just using Electron packager instead of builder, and platform has been 32, not Linux, and Wine is installed. Wine is installed in the Docker file. Okay, so okay, let's just build it quickly so we can have some time for QA. Okay, there is some problem happening. Let's start over the development server. There's so much to tell you about cross-platform on cloud that I forgot to organize it. So sorry for that. I actually missing a lot. So it's just the basics, very basics actually. So let's build our Electron app for Windows so we can run it locally. Because build mode Electron. Let's build it quickly so we will have time for questions and answers. Building and packaging, and we will sooner have over more than 100 MB of Electron package with just some materialized components. Ah, yes, Electron packages are big. Okay, so while it's building, all I will do is run. Okay, actually, it's built dist folder. Okay, unpackaged. It's not syncing the bigger one. Let me see. See, dist. We sure have this here, but it's not working. Let's try to make a file, so maybe then it works. Let's see it's started or not. Okay, so syncing sometimes work and sometimes it doesn't work. So as you saw that previously it worked, it's not working now. Can't say much about that. If you have any questions, please ask. uh, yes, let's have a 5-minute question answer sessions, and I will try to build it simultaneously here. If it works, you will be able to see the windows running over Quasar app. But for now, please ask the questions. You have any?
If you have any question, you can in chat window you can paste, or you can directly ask. You can unmute and ask.
Okay, guys, come on. It's not that simple process. Even it's even basic, but still need to understand what we just did. So come and ask some questions. If you have any questions about Dockerfile, how we're able to use Okteto Cloud, etc., just ask, please. Looks like everybody is very clear with this concept. Hey Sangam, you said that you previously used uh, this.
Yeah, basically, I used this whatever you are doing cross-platform Ionic. So I have not containerized it back in day. Like I used to work on like cross-platform application. When it's come to Electron or when it's come to containerization, there is no official images from a Android Studio. So you need emulator also. So that is very uh, like very difficult to run
Okay.
this APKs or Electron is fine. When you run the Electron, it's totally like Slack is built on Electron or like many application. So up to that point, it's good. So there is a lot of people uh, are building this emulator thing now. Recently, some
Yep.
of
Yep.
you folks build OS X. So whatever your Mac OS operating system is there, so you can emulate that operating system directly inside a container. There is one
Yep.
directory called OS X Docker. So there is a lot of things. So it's a good way. Like in DevOps, there is a lot of thing adoption need to do. Like inside of AR, VR, more like application, blockchain, or somehow somewhere this. Full stack applications is much needed and they use a lot of dependencies. If we package it all together, it's a good example. Like
Sangam.
yeah,
Okay, you are going to give some examples, please.
I currently like I don't have like currently application in my locally, but I will say like you can like, just explain your Okteto Docker file and your dependencies. That's fine for me, because
Okay.
somehow you shown the whatever the running application web app on browser, you can show in browser. That's fine locally. I don't need in production or on Okteto. So they need to understand this whatever the dependency you used and what is the Docker file needed. That's fine.
Hmm. Right. So okay. So for plain Docker file, as I explained, just some built up on over Node 10, and you will be able to do Linux, PWA, and SPA with Quasar CLI installed. But with this one, it's a bit, kind of next level. I just used this Docker file and added a little bit of our own things like, as I told you before, the wine. So we can build for Windows because we can already build for Linux because these are Linux containers. And to build for Windows, yes, we need wine on Linux, of course. And then I make sure that you have Cordova simulator, Quasar CLI. I actually use these packages before, but now with Quasar CLI, I don't use these much, but still a good backup. So because this Dockerfile building takes a lot of time. Okay, so these a lot of tools to download because my own Android SDK installation kind of all things took about 25-30 GB, something like that, if I remember correctly. So there are some extra tools for you guys, Firebase. Not actually inserted by me. These tools are inserted by the creator of these images. So yes, that's about it. The Docker file. You have fully working. What can I say? Fully working, usable development environment building for SPA applications, SSR. Actually, you can with containers. I haven't demonstrated you. Uh, uh, PWA is the progressive web apps, already closed platform development, and Linux. because these are Linux containers, and Electron can build for Linux. Windows, you will be able to build for Windows, and you can see my sync things not running. And Android. Okay, so you don't need the Android SDK developer tools to test this out. There are a lot of, I saw some 2012 kind of videos where people use like CloudBees or I don't know, some platform as a service things to run their Android um, what can I say, Android emulators kind of thing, but with VNC connected, like Android Farms. Uh, yes, they use Android Farms, and there are STF projects that help you build one. And yes, there are a lot of things going on, still a lot of things going on, a lot of development is going on for building cross-platform development. So I just Sangam asked me to give a presentation to you guys. So I just recently built the Okteto mobile app. If you haven't tried it yet, it's kind of I haven't maintained it for like uh, months. So here is a little demonstration. I built it myself with Adobe. In the background music myself, not by physical instruments. So this was, I did it for a tattoo, and I haven't added anything except after the tattoo build the different tires for pricing. But if I ever get time, I will try to update it. And yes, you can actually use your tattoo on your mobile now. Okay, so let's see. So where we have everything, sync thing didn't work. Okay, so just to show you guys, it actually worked. We can actually push to GitHub, but I haven't set it up GitHub. Just I will show you the files. Okay, so sorry, uh, let's, it will, it I tested it and it worked flawlessly. Okay, okay, perfect. Capitalization Linux. Okay, so there we have it. These are all the files, and you will be able to see your exe file here. It will work just fine. I actually don't have the installation of it right now, and it's not syncing as well. Oh, perfect, it started syncing. So let's see where it is right now. Okay, this is syncing and syncing, a lot of thinking going on here right now. It will take a lot of time. Can we have some questions, please? Sangam, you have anything to ask, bro?
Nothing like, it's I know I can understand your pain because you are using this much dependencies when it's come to synchronizing synchronate whatever update you use in background. It take all the binary, so you need a time a loop to build that binary first, and when that binary and all thing are done, then it will synchronize that file from your local environment to your Okteto cloud. So it's take a time, I can understand. So let's I understood. So in maybe next to next session we will cover this small app. Okay.
Oh,
So
actually, it's not required. Actually, I can show you. It will work just fine. We will do
yeah,
something
yeah,
better in next session. Of course, we
yes,
can redo the thing. And of course, thanks for saying your kind words, Sangam brother, and Vinay Agarwal, CM Patak, and let me name all of you: Bhavna Hasija, Martin Colado, Mukul Maheshwari, CM Patak, And oh, you all of guys, thank you. I believed I said Sangam Biradar and Vinay Gulal before, but thank you guys, thank you for joining. And if you have anything to ask, just ping me on Slack. I have here, given your thing. I am joined here. If you have any questions, you can ask me about full stack machine learning on browser or blockchain development, which I do a lot now nowadays. Okay, I am done for it. I'm done with it. Sorry, I'm done with it today. For now, okay, Singham brother, let me know what's next.
Thank you for joining all. So it's a wonderful session. Maybe Jivan Jot not completed his full session, but it's good to know this what the different tools available there for developing a cross-platform application, and it's always good to learn in weekends. Usually, I usually spend my time in meetups from past 5 to 4 years, so it's a good learning. So do join, do support and join this kind of meetups. And this session is recorded fully after tomorrow. Like I will upload this particular session on YouTube channel or somewhere on cloud, and I will share link on Okteto uh, meetup page. So do join meetups. We are doing a lot of meetups. You can join. I run particular. I started new community called Coop Daily, where I do a lot of session on Go language, Rust, Cloud, Docker, Kubernetes, and Sayam also here. He also doing a lot of sessions. Morning we have done like 2 hour long session. It's a great learning, and thank you for joining all of you, and thank you Vinay and uh, Jivan Jot. It's a great session.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. Thanks, you all. Have a
Yeah,
nice day.
thank you. Have a nice day. See you. Bye.
Bye bye.